Fight last weekend against a 135-pounder. He's now fighting a heavyweight king. He's the pride of not only Puerto Rico, but Cleveland, Ohio as well. He's El Gallo. He's the one and only, the problem child, Jake Paul.
Village and working farm. He was a big guy, like a Cossack.
He's coming prepared. You know, he's saying this is the hardest he's ever trained, and he's right. I'm not a good boxer. I'm a great.
I feel like that. But like I was saying, we all know that AJ don't want no smoke with Deontay. As much as I don't like.
According to Boxing News, Alexander Usyk interrupted the press conference with Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. He warned Jake Paul, saying he's not a real boxer, and he praised Joshua for being an Olympic champion. Usyk comments surprised everyone and made it clear that there are a big difference between Joshua and Jake Paul.
Anthony Joshua won. Anthony killed this guy. Listen, a lot of questions, blah blah blah. Only one my answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's yeah.
At the press conference, Anthony Joshua made it clear that he's fully focused and hungry for the fight. He said he just wants to perform really well, showing that his motivation is on another level compared to Jake Paul. Joshua Olympic level skills and experience put him far ahead, making him much more prepared.
Really well at it when I'm doing it, really. I just really hungry and motivated still.
Jake Paul didn't hold back and admitted that Anthony Joshua is a tough opponent. He told fans to buy the pay-per-view and get ready, but even from what he said, his focus seems uncertain compared to Anthony Joshua, whose hunger, skill and Olympic champion background clearly put him on a different level. Alexander Usyk warned Jake Paul at the press conference, saying the fight is serious and not just for show. He pointed out that only hard work and focus will matter. Usyk made it clear that Paul is facing a big challenge against Anthony Joshua's skill and experience. His comments suggested he believes Paul still has a lot to prove.
Всіх законних правил. І ми це зробили.
The adaptation was that 2 years Alex lived in the gym, and all the team was struggling experiment how to do him heavyweight for the legal way. And
Anthony Joshua praised the organizers for putting together such a big and impressive event, showing respect for the global effort behind the press conference. His focus on the professionalism and scale shows how seriously he's taking the fight, a clear contrast to Jake Paul, who is still gaining experience in a sport where skill and preparation matter most.
Shout out to His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, once again, for putting like this great show on. Like, whether you're a boxing fan or not, you gotta give respect. You know what I'm saying? Like this fight.
Logan Paul admitted there a huge experience gap. He described Anthony Joshua as almost the perfect athlete, a real gladiator, while Jake Paul is still more of a showman. The comparison shows why many people think this is a tough matchup for Jake and why under a lot of pressure to prove himself.
Experience difference, Anthony Joshua is a former heavyweight champion who's knocked out heavyweight champions.
Has he ever tried like Ozempic or Manjaro?
This is a guy who is already perfect.
Okay.
He's perfect.
Okay.
He's like, if you could sculpt like a perfect gladiator.
Tony Hypebelu highlighted the big difference between in reality Jake Paul may have talent in his own space, but taking on a former unified heavyweight champion like Anthony Joshua is a completely different level. Many experienced pros doubted the idea that Paul could match Joshua ring experience, and skill.
I actually believe he's better than what people think he is.
He is better than people think he is, but doesn't mean you can take on the former unified heavyweight champion of the world. I know some white collar fighters who are really good, but you ain't getting in with me, and I'm 42.
Derek Chisora made it very clear that he thinks Anthony Joshua will handle this fight with ease. He said he doesn't view Jake Paul as a real challenge and believes Joshua will beat him quickly. Chisora confidence coming from an experienced heavyweight shows that many in the boxing world doubt Paul chances with Joshua experience and championship background. Most experts see him as the strong favorite. Jake Paul brings hype and a big social media following, but against an Olympic level boxer like Joshua, appears to be at a major disadvantage.
Easy fight for him, and I think this should be laid to rest, because I don't think AJ's gonna go in and try and pat. AJ's gonna like smoke.
Alexander Usyk didn't hold back when talking about Jake Paul. He said Anthony Joshua is a professional and Olympic champion, while Paul isn't a real boxer. Usyk pointed out the big gap in skill and experience, showing that Joshua is on a completely different level. This moment at the press conference highlighted how serious Joshua is, while Paul mainly relies on showmanship. Usyk warning gives fans a reality check and makes it clear that Jake Paul has little chance against Joshua in the ring.
It's great because Anthony is Olympic champion, Francesc Ngannou.
Don Charles said he couldn't believe that Jake Paul would step into the ring with Anthony Joshua. To experienced observers, this matchup seems almost unbelievable. Charles emphasized that if the fight happens, the better fighter will win, clearly pointing to Joshua's advantage. His comments show how the boxing community views Paul as out of his depth and highlight Joshua as the standard of a real professional boxer. Fans know that Joshua's skill, power, and championship experience make him far stronger than Paul could ever be in this fight.
Paul in the same ring as Anthony Joshua, surely. But if it's for real, then it's for real. May the best man win. And I know, come on,
David Adeli pointed out something: many people underestimate Anthony Joshua's power. While people often focus on his past results or skills, they forget how hard he can hit against someone like Jake Paul. This is a huge advantage since Paul has no real experience facing fighters with that kind of knockout power. Adeli comments show that Joshua's Olympic background, experience, and raw strength make him far more dangerous than hype alone suggests. Fans and analysts agree that any mistake from Paul could have serious consequences very quickly.
I think a lot of people, obviously, they pick up on his boxing and how good of a boxer he is, but he hits harder than people expect.
Adam Smith made an interesting point about Joshua's strategy and timing. Anthony Joshua has the ability to win whenever he wants, but after 14 months out of the ring, questions remain about how he will approach the fight. He could go for an early finish or take his time to test Jake Paul's stamina. Paul doesn't have the experience to anticipate Joshua's mental and tactical adjustments. The commentary shows that while Joshua's skill is unquestionable, his fight plan, intensity, and preparation will decide just how dominant he can be against Paul.
Will he want to get some rounds in, being inactive for 14 months to prepare him for 20?
Don Charles pointed out all of Anthony Joshua's strengths: his incredible punching power, unmatched physical ability, and vast experience at the top level of boxing. These qualities make him a very tough opponent for Jake Paul. The press conference showed Joshua focus and preparation, proving that his technical skills, Olympic background, and championship experience give him a huge advantage over an untested fighter like Paul. Experts agree that while Jake Paul has hype and charisma, he cannot match a professional of Joshua caliber. Every moment from the press conference highlighted that Joshua is on another level and ready to show it in the ring.
They look at all the positives of Anthony Joshua. He has loads of positives. His punching power, his physicality, his experience.
Cole Fruck said that Anthony Joshua's technique and ring intelligence are far beyond what Jake Paul can handle. Even if Joshua isn't at his absolute peak, his precise combinations, control of distance, and experience make him very hard to beat. Jake Paul has never faced a true heavyweight champion, and his loss to Tommy Fury shows he isn't ready for this level. The press conference showed Joshua calm and focused while Paul seemed nervous and inexperienced. Experts agree this fight is heavily one-sided, with Joshua precision, speed, and power expected to dominate from the start, leaving Paul struggling to keep up.
I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, we could have a big upset, but
Ben Abda Sr. pointed out that while Anthony Joshua is heavily favored, Jake Paul can still be dangerous because anything can happen in boxing. However, the press conference and expert opinions make it clear that Joshua's Olympic background, world championship experience, and technical skill put him far ahead of Paul. A true upset is very unlikely, and analysts agree that Joshua's preparation, power, and skill make him almost unbeatable. Ben Abda Sr. comments show that while Paul may try to create chaos, Joshua is Focus editor Minden ready to prove why he is one of the best heavyweight boxers in the world.
Very close to the win picking Anthony Joshua, because I know Joshua and I know him well, and he's a proud guy and he will not want to lose any respect from this, and he knows that he's got to get this job done. So expect to see an aggressive Anthony Joshua, which
Spencer Oliver explained why he confident Anthony Joshua will win, pointing to Joshua's pride and drive to maintain respect in boxing. Joshua will not underestimate Jake Paul, and the press conference showed his intense focus and determination. Expect Joshua to be aggressive, precise, and relentless, leaving Paul very little chance to adapt. Oliver confirmed that Joshua's experience and confidence will dominate every part of the fight, while Jake Paul has hype, doesn't have the mental toughness, killer championship experience that Joshua brings. Experts agree Joshua will control the fight and make a clear statement.
Should happen. This is a one-round job because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight.
Anthony Joshua spoke with authority and hunger, making it clear that anyone entering the ring with him will face a true champion. His excitement for the fight shows his mental strength and readiness, sending a strong message to Jake Paul that this will be a world-class challenge. The press conference highlighted Joshua's focus, intensity, and experience, making him a formidable opponent. Analysts noted that his determination will leave Paul struggling from the very start. Every moment reinforced that Joshua is ready to show why he is an Olympic champion and former world heavyweight champion, while Jake Paul is clearly outclassed.